28th of November 2024. Welcome to Somalia's premier #1 station for news and updates, Dalsan TV. I'm your presenter, Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight, quite a full bulletin prepared for you, but lovely viewers. First, let's take a look at the stories that are making our headlines. Somali Supreme Court validates election results, confirming Wadani Party's historic win. Raskamboni braces for confrontation as Jubaland mobilizes forces against federal troops amid ATMI's void. Tit for tat, arrest warrants escalate Somali Jubaland political crisis. Somali lawmaker under investigation for assaulting parliament guard during heated debate. Somalia seeks Interpol red notice for Jubaland President Madobe. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into our full bulletin. The political impasse between Somalia's federal government and Jubaland has reached a crucial point, with courts on both sides issuing arrest warrants for their leaders. Mogadishu Banadil Regional Court accused Jubaland President Ahmed Madobe of treason, while Jubaland First Instance Court charged President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud with constitutional violations and instigation and to insurrection. In a dramatic escalation of the ongoing political standoff, Somalia's federal government has formally requested an Interpol red notice to arrest Jubaland President Ahmed Mohamed Islam, also known as Madobe. The Banadil Regional Court in Mogadishu authorized the request on Wednesday, accusing Madobe of treason, collusion with foreign powers, and actions undermining Somalia's national unity. This move is the latest chapter in a bitter feud between Somali federal government and Jubaland semi-autonomous administration. The rift intensified after Madobe withdrew from crucial government consultations last month, throwing Somalia's already fragile state-building process into further uncertainty. The charges against him signal a deepening divide that threatens to destabilize the country. An Interpol red notice, while not an international arrest warrant, serves as a request to locate and provisionally detain an individual pending extradition. While it relies on cooperation from member states, this international alert can severely restrict Madobe's ability to travel and engage in diplomatic activities, isolating him from potential international allies. Somali authorities claim that Madobe collaborated with foreign governments to destabilize the nation, sharing sensitive national security information. Federal officials argue that his actions obstruct Somalia's efforts to implement much-needed electoral reforms, including the much-debated one-person, one-vote system. However, Jubaland officials have denounced the charges as politically motivated, accusing Mogadishu of using legal avenues to weaken regional autonomy and power. Political analysts see this unprecedented legal conflict in Somalia's modern history, further complicating efforts for national reconciliation. The Somali federal government has dispatched Turkish-trained elite forces to Raskamboni, a rural village in the lower Juba, signaling a planned move to seize control from the Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMI's troops. The deployment comes amid rising tensions between Mogadishu and Jubaland President Ahmed Madobe, whose recent re-election was not recognized by the federal administration. The Somali federal government accuses Madobe of obstructing constitutional revisions aimed at centralizing authority and moving toward universal suffrage elections.
The Somali federal government has deployed Turkish-trained elite forces in Raskamboni, a remote settlement in Lower Juba, signaling a calculated move to assume control from African Union Transition Mission in Somalia ATMI's forces. The deployment comes amid heightened tensions between Mogadishu and Jubaland President Ahmed Madobe, whose recent re-election remains unrecognized by the federal government. The Somali leadership accuses Madobe of undermining constitutional reforms aimed at centralizing authority and transitioning to universal suffrage. Somali officials confirmed on Tuesday that an additional 80 soldiers from Jubaland state forces joined Somali federal troops during a military operation against Al-Shabaab. President Ahmed Madobe, re-elected in a contentious regional parliamentary vote that Mogadishu refuses to recognize, accuses the federal government of attempting to destabilize his administration. In return, Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has criticized Madobe for resisting constitutional reforms to transition to universal suffrage and centralized governance. The deployment of the federal troops follows ATMI's phased withdrawal, which has created a security vacuum in key regions previously secured by Kenyan forces. Lieutenant Colonel Hassan Aden Mohammed Hassan Iraqi, commander of the Gorgor Unit's 18th Battalion, stressed the mission's importance in stabilizing Raskamboni and preventing insurgent threats. Counter-insurgency tactics were airlifted from Mogadishu on Monday. Many fear that failure to de-escalate tensions could result in a wider conflict.
A Somali legislature is being investigated after an incident that injured a parliamentary guard during the heated session of the National Parliamentary on Wednesday. The confrontation happened as the guards attempted to mediate a debate among MPs about the National Electoral Commission. According to Colonel Abdifatah Aden Hassan, spokesperson for the Somali police force, one politician punched the guard in the nose. The injured cop was treated at Medina Hospital and is currently in stable condition. A Somali lawmaker is under investigation following an incident that left parliamentary guard injured during a heated session at the National Parliament on Wednesday. The altercation occurred as the guard attempted to mediate a dispute amongst lawmakers debating the National Electoral Commission. According to Colonel Abdifatah Aden Hassan, spokesperson of the Somali police force, one lawmaker struck the guard on the nose. The injured officer was treated at Medina Hospital and is now in a stable condition. Police have registered the lawmaker as a suspect and investigation is underway. Authorities have emphasized the importance of decorum within Parliament, stressing that such incidents hinder effective governance. The incident reflects mounting tensions within the legislature as Somali prepares for critical electoral milestones. Lawmakers are frequently locked in contentious debates, leaving security personnel tasked with maintaining order. The Somali Police Commissioner visited the officer on Wednesday, offering support and praising his professionalism during the incident. The investigation remains ongoing, and authorities are expected to release additional findings in the coming days. In a dramatic escalation of ongoing political standoff, Somalia's federal government has formally requested an Interpol red notice to arrest Jubaland President Mohammed Islam, also known as Madobe. The Banadil Regional Court in Mogadishu authorized the request on Wednesday, accusing Madobe of treason, collusion with foreign powers, and actions undermining Somalia's national unity. The move is the latest chapter in a bitter feud between the Somali federal government and Jubaland semi-autonomous administration. In a dramatic escalation of the ongoing political standoff, Somalia's federal government has formally requested an Interpol red notice to arrest Jubaland President Mohammed Islam, also known as Madobe. The Banadil Regional Court in Mogadishu authorized the request on Wednesday, accusing Madobe of treason, collusion with foreign powers, and actions undermining Somalia's national unity. This move is the latest chapter in a bitter feud between Somali federal government and Jubaland semi-autonomous administration. The rift intensified after Madobe withdrew from crucial government consultations last month, throwing Somalia's already fragile state-building process into further uncertainty. The charges against him signal a deepening divide that threatens to destabilize the country. An Interpol red notice, while not an international arrest warrant, serves as a request to locate and provisionally detain an individual pending extradition. While it relies on cooperation from member states, this international alert can severely restrict Madobe's ability to travel and engage in diplomatic activities, isolating him from potential international allies. Somali authorities claim that Madobe collaborated with foreign governments to destabilize the nation, sharing sensitive national security information. Federal officials argue that his actions obstruct Somalia's efforts to implement much-needed electoral reforms, including the much-debated one-person, one-vote system. However, Jubaland officials have denounced the charges as politically motivated, accusing Mogadishu of using legal avenues to weaken regional autonomy and power. Political analysts see this unprecedented legal conflict in Somalia's modern history, further complicating efforts for national reconciliation. The Somalian Supreme Court has officially validated the results of November 13th presidential election, cementing a historic victory for the Wadani party and signaling a peaceful and political transition in the self-declared republic. Chief Justice Adan Haji announced the court's decision affirming Abdirahman Mohamed Abdullahi, widely known as Irro, as a president after securing 64% of the vote. Mohamed Ali Abdi Mahmoud was declared as a vice president. Both candidates ran on the Wadani party ticket, ending nearly 15 years of governance by the Kolmir party.
The Somaliland Supreme Court has officially validated the results of the November 13th presidential election, cementing a historic victory for the Wadani party and signaling a peaceful political transition in the self-declared republic. Chief Justice Adhan Haji Ali announced the court's decision, affirming Abdurrahman Mohamed Abdullahi, widely known as Irro, as president after securing 64% of the vote. Mohamed Ali Abdi Mohamud was declared vice president. Both candidates ran on the Wadani party, ending nearly 15 years of governance by the Kulmiye party. The Supreme Court emphasized that no objections or legal challenges were filed by opposing candidates, paving the way for seamless endorsement of the preliminary results issued by the National Electoral Commission. This year's election, hailed as one of the most peaceful in Somaliland's history, highlights the region's growing political maturity. Supporters celebrated across Somaliland's major cities, with jubilant crowds waving Wadani party flags in Burao. Analysts view the Wadani party's victory as a shift in Somaliland's political landscape, with outgoing President Muse Bihi conceding defeat and congratulating the winners. Observers have praised the election process, noting that Somaliland continues to set a democratic standard in the region, even as it seeks international recognition as a sovereign state.
Lovely viewers, the inspiring story from Somaliland brings us to the end of our bulletin. I wish to thank the Dalsan media fraternity for making this news edition a success. You are a lovely viewer wherever you're watching us from. Have yourselves a lovely night. Be blessed.